And good morning. Somehow or another, the weekend flew by and it's Monday once again. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Oh, we're looking forward to a great, fantastic show. We'll kick off the morning show beginning at 7. Odie will be in. Well, actually, he's here. He's getting prepared. He's always ready for whatever comes our way. We're getting ready to give you the headlines that's shaping America. We'll get into your weather forecast and let you know all that's going on in and around the nation. And then we'll get on to your local subjects beginning at 7 o'clock this morning. So many of you are up and stirring. Charlotte, Diane, Shirley. Oh, I see Miss Irene is there also. Oshner Rush Pharmacy, they're already at it there. Janice, good to see you as well. It's going to be a great day. We look forward to this. Right now, it's still on that nippy side. 44 wind chill of 39, but that's going to change. It's going to be somewhere around 75 most days. Today, we'll get to 64, but be ready for summertime weather after last week being at like 9 and 11 wind chill factors. It just doesn't make up its mind in the deep south, does it? Makes a bunch of us sick. I'm feeling a whole lot better. I was feeling that kind of sluggish last week. I'm not going to lie, and it took me a few days to recoup from that. I'm back at it now, and we're ready to go. Coming up in just a second, we'll get into those headlines. Right now, we go to make the day a little bit better. Let's go to Collinsville, First Baptist.
You know, all the way back in 1992, Amy Grant released what has become a classic Christmas song. It was called Grown Up Christmas List, and since then, almost 80 artists have covered that song on one of their albums, including stars like Kelly Clarkson, Michael Bublé, Aretha Franklin, and Pentatonix. Now, the idea behind the song is that a grown-up Christmas list looks a lot different than a kid's Christmas list. On Amy Grant's grown-up Christmas list, she had no more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts, and everyone would have a friend, and right would always win, and love would never end. Now, that's a pretty good list. But as I turn to 1 Thessalonians 1:1, I see two other things that are probably on every other person's grown-up Christmas list: grace and peace. That's how Apostle Paul starts off this letter to the Christians in the city of Thessalonica. Grace to you and peace. Aren't those two things that you long for? Grace, you see, is unmerited favor. It's goodness shown to you even though you don't deserve it. And peace? Peace is tranquility and harmony among all of people, creatures, creation. I mean, give me a double dose of grace and peace. But here's the amazing thing. Grace and peace can be yours through Jesus Christ. Galatians 2:16 says, we may be justified by faith in Christ. And to be justified is to be made right with God. It's to be given grace and to enter into peace with God. So, beloved, Jesus Christ is the way to get grace and peace that's been there on your grown-up Christmas list. And here's the cool thing. You don't even have to wait until Christmas. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with, what a beautiful morning, 64 expected to be our high, and we'll get into that forecast in a moment. But I said, you might want to take a little jacket with you. We do have patchy fog. Did you get into any coming?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. But there is some suggested this morning. Be on the ready lookout for that as you travel about. We're waiting to see what happens at Fort Knox. It's still being talked about. The president is going with Elon. Rumor is, they tease it, I don't know if it will ever happen, that they could carry live cameras with them. They'll probably change their mind on that. But wouldn't it be interesting? We've heard so much about it. That's still one of the big talks going across the nation this morning. Now, I guess this would be the ultimate get back if I were into somebody who had done me wrong and, well, you just really want to show them. San Francisco, there's a federal building named the Nancy Pelosi Building. Trump's supposed to put it up for sale. It says it's just not used anymore. And, well, we don't need it. It's costing taxpayers money. What a way to get rid of a name. The Nancy Pelosi Federal Building, downtown San Francisco. If you're needing a building, it looks like, well, you could come in to owning one. That would get her goat, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
We'll see how that works. I didn't realize this until late yesterday afternoon, but what a great guy. Dan Bonagino. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was on Fox News forever. He has his own podcast. It's big. He has been named Deputy Director of the FBI. He was in the Secret Service for years. I think he's a real honest fella and means well for our country. It is so good to see people getting positions that I truly believe are American patriots. This next 4 years is going to be interesting, isn't it? I look forward to it. We go to Staten Island. I'm not sure if you're aware of this story yet. This broke over the weekend. 3 dead, 2 injured, and 1 missing after a boat capsized near Staten Island. How sad it is. Chilling waters on top of all of that. Now, I missed out. Maybe I did have one. I'm trying to remember. They had the Wendy's comes out with these special Frosties every once in a while. I've been sitting here after I read this article trying to imagine what it tastes like. You ever do that? There's some things you can't get rid of, but they're getting ready to try the Girl Scouts Thin Mints Frosty. What?
Amy wants one.
Do you think it'd be good? Odie says no, his wife is for it. I don't know. Now, that chocolate's just hard to beat.
No.
What was that last? The caramel? The caramel was good.
Oh.
Man. Okay, somebody's going to have to try it and tell me if they like it or not. The Thin Mints Frosty coming soon to a Wendy's near you. Huh. Well, we'll just see. Y'all get ready. Let's see what day this is going to happen. I believe it is March. Okay, March 27th. Y'all line up at the post office. They're going to have the very first Betty White stamp that you can buy, especially for you who collect stamps, whether it's Elvis or this and that stamp. It will be up for grabs there, the Betty White one. What a legend she was, without a doubt there. Boy, they've been pointing fingers and arguing at each other out in L.A. for the longest, haven't they? It's no better today, but, well, the L.A. mayor, who really has a lot of red tape, has fired the fire chief, who, if I'm not mistaken, was full of DEI events and things, and she's blaming her for what happened. I believe it begins at the governor's office on down. Little fishies are not more important than people. Someone should pass that along to Newsom. I hope they get that straightened out. California is a great state. I hate to see it that way. This is one of those things, and I know 1 or 2 people who've had success with it, so I don't want to run this down. Dating sites. Is that where you met Amy?
No.
It was the Gregs.
Way before then.
But dating apps are very popular now, especially for someone who's busy. It used to be one of the greatest places to find a significant other was church, our best friend. But these dating sites have really taken off, whether you're using eHarmony or whatever it is, and farmers only, mechanics only, police women only. Oh, yeah, the list goes on and on of what you can find out there. We have a Las Vegas woman who's allegedly, she's been arrested. She's been drugging older men and fleecing them off a dating app, taking all their money. Oh, that's not the first time that that's happened, and it surely won't be the last. At the end of the day, be cautious, be cautious. And again, I'm not against dating apps. I'm just warning you, if you do this, to be very sure of who you meet with friends. People can be very convincing. Never forget what my grandmother used to tell me this. The devil will always look very, very good. It will be the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen. It will seem trusting. You all be careful now. But Postal Service bracing as they know it's coming. Doge will be arriving soon along with Donald Trump and the others. It looks like a Hawaii man is going to be set free after 30 years. DNA proving that he's innocent, as he pleaded his innocence for the last 30 years, said he didn't do it. He's going to be released from jail. DNA has now proved that. We're proud for him. This one also slipped up on me. Kash Patel. He's also going to be named ATF chief. Did y'all know that? Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Kind of a dual role for him. Big role there. Now, I have seen this listed, and Mississippi may have this. I'm not. It seems like it, but I'm not. I couldn't put my hand and swear to it. But a lot of states added your choice of death to where lethal injection, electric chair, or firing squad. South Carolina man has chosen the firing squad. To my knowledge, this is the first one who has chosen this. Looks like that's going to be coming up March 7th. We'll keep you posted on that. We also, this is one of those things to where a lot of people, including me, how murderers sit on death row for years upon years upon years upon years and never face what they did, when there's not a shadow of a doubt what happened. If there's a question, I agree, waiting. This, he murdered a 6-year-old child. He's been sitting there 30 years, and he dies a couple weeks before he was set to be executed. Justice is slow, very slow. 7 Florida deputies have been placed on leave after a domestic violence dispute ends in a triple homicide. At the end of the day, it doesn't seem as though they did their work. That's one of the toughest situations out there. 2 Virginia Beach officers are killed during a traffic stop. From what I understand, they were executed. They were wounded lying on the ground, and the suspect walked up and finished them off. Pray for those families. It's tough. We'll talk about the local one that just happened. We go to Pennsylvania, as a police officer is also killed and 5 others injured during a hostage situation. Some bad stories that you have to know regardless. Ramaswamy, if I pronounced that correctly, is entering the governor's race, pushing cuts and merit pay. Polls say he's in the lead to win this. I hope so. He seems like a real good guy. As we mentioned California a moment ago, Newsom, they're asking for $40 billion for wildlife relief. Now, we have to help our states, don't get me wrong. Let's hope that that's going to be handled in the right way. Let's hope on that. They need to fix this where this doesn't happen again, where wildfires can overtake that place. Whew. This would be... We have had, I forget how many it's been since January, but a lot of mishaps with airlines. Now, whether or not that's due to past people being hired that should have been put in positions they should have. This was after takeoff. A flight had to return to LAX. Smoke detector. Smoke was filling the cabin. They had to return. Everything's okay. That's a scary feeling with everything that's gone on so far lately. Over the weekend, Utah, you don't hear a lot about this. And we will see more of this. This ended good. But as we go into the summer months, so many of you go and travel all across the nation, no matter where you're watching me from, national parks, and go out and do things. Be careful. Each year we lose so many people at national parks on hiking trips, climbing, skiing, and things of that nature. We had a father and a son that were stranded in southern Utah on the side of a mountain. This one ended good. They had to spend overnight, but they were rescued by helicopter. That ended all good. But I'm just saying for the future, as we get into these hot summer months, I can't count the times we had to do stories last year of people that got overheated and couldn't make it out. Have plenty of water where you are. Let someone know who you are, and it's always best to travel in pairs. Going off on your own it seems like a good idea at the time. Never hurts to have a friend close, does it? It doesn't. We'll be right back with your weather forecast as I get tongue-tied. We'll get into that next. Still chilly in 44 as we're waking up.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options. helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
As the seasons change, so do your clothes, and Garrett Sport exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve, also Hulk shirts, and America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church, and nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need to keep you dry in those wet conditions. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. And welcome back. Let's look at radar first as we go to Doc's Toyota radar. This is the fog that we're encountering. If you're traveling west of here, by the time you reach Scott County, it's going to be very thick. I would assume that we've got light patches here in Newton County, but by the time you reach Forest, it's thick. By the time you roll into Pelahatchie on the outskirts of Jackson, it's going to be forevermore. That 4-lane is dangerous as you reach that stack in Jackson. Y'all be careful there. We've got fog all the way through Bay Springs, Taylorsville, McGee, down around Collins as well. Thicker around Hazelhurst and those areas as well. And again, we can't rule out some light fog in our area. We'll have patchy areas this morning, as well as up in the Delta there around Grenada, Cleveland, and those areas. Even look at this little bitty shower that we've got over here around Toxie and Gilberttown, Alabama. Not big. We had a lot more earlier this morning around 3 o'clock that was kind of moving through the area and off to the east. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Those record highs, record lows, back in 2018, a warm day, it was 84. As we look back to 1989, it was a low, cold day of 18 as we were waking up that morning. That was chilly, wasn't it? As we look at the outlook for today, we should see 63, 64, depending upon where your home is. 62 around Columbus, and we'll see down 60-ish down the Mississippi River. 61 there in Natchez, Brookhaven, 62-ish, maybe 65 around Hattiesburg as well as we look for warmer weather today. Now, as we go to across the state lines, somewhere around Demopolis, 63, Tuscaloosa in those areas, and around Livingston, 64 today as well. About the same in Birmingham. This is what we're looking at, patchy fog today, and this will be through 9 a.m. throughout the area. This stuff is drifting all about us. This is pretty much the same for us tomorrow, and this will take in Winston County tomorrow as well, Noxubee, all the way down to Laurel, Hattiesburg. Here's that forecast for the next 6 to 8, 10 days here as we look at this. Warmer weather as it approaches, and it'll be well upon us in a day or so as we look at this forecast. Look here. 64 today. We're up to 70 tomorrow. 74, 75 for the next couple of days there. It's a seesaw depending upon where you look at these temperatures, but it's going to be warm summertime weather as the weekend approaches. Sunshine 72 on Saturday. Look at that. Same on Sunday as well. We can't complain a bit. As we go all the way through March the 10th, no cold weather whatsoever. 70s and upper 60s all the way through March the 10th. Man, times are changing, aren't they? As we look to the fishing forecast today, it looks to be pretty good. We'll have perfect time this morning from 8 until 10. That's your major times to fish. Minor time this afternoon from 2 until 3 if you've got to go. Sunrise hit at 6:27 this morning, and sunset will roll in somewhere around 5:48 as we see it being pushed each day, nearly to 6 o'clock now. Deborah, good morning to you as well. Barry, glad to see you. Chet Parker joins us as well. Terry, it's going to be a nice day. Y'all enjoy this. 64 today. There'll be some folks be able to go without jackets for a little while. I'm going to carry mine just because I don't trust anything. You never know, do you? What was it your mama used to say? Better be safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry.
We'll be back in just a moment as we'll be kicking off the morning show shortly from now, live at 7 o'clock. Won't you join us? We've got a lot to talk about what went on over the weekend here at the Scotty Ray Report. Odie's in the house. Join us, won't you? We'll see you at 7.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.